Today was the day of the trip, and all the students were boarding the bus with laughter and excitement. The atmosphere buzzed with energy, and the sound of giggle and chatter filled the bus. However, the joyful chaos came to an abrupt halt as the most strict professor from college entered the bus. Jim glanced around at all the students and suddenly noticed Gwen sitting next to a boy, his chocolate at his side. Why is she sitting with that guy? A flicker of jealousy flashed across his face, but he quickly shrugged it off and sat in his seat. Hello, Wayne. Hello. Since we are seatmates, we should talk to pass the time, right? Yes, the two began chatting and laughing, sharing jokes and enjoying each other's company. Meanwhile, someone else was frowning silently. None other than Jimin. He could hear their laughter, but he could not understand why it was bothering him so much. Could it be that he had feeling for her? No way, he thought, brushing the idea aside. Hours passed and the journey came to an end. But then Jimin noticed Vine's head resting on Jack's shoulder as if she had fallen asleep. The sight made him clench his jaw again, and he walked over to them. Everyone else has left the bus. Are not you getting off? Sir, Vine asleep. I will pick her up. Give me a minute. No way, he shouted, his question evident. Jack frowned, puzzled by his reaction. Wake her up, he ordered in a strict tone, leaving Jack no choice but to gently wake Vine. Together they exit the bus. Set up your tent. We will start the activities tomorrow. The students began setting up their tents as night fell. Under the moonlight, everyone gathered around a campfire playing truth dare. At the one point, the bottle stopped on Vine and Jack, so you two have to guess. Hearing this, Vine's eyes widened in shock. Jack, on the other hand, maintained a calm expression and moved toward Vine. She felt nervous and confused, unsure whether she should complete the dare or not. Meanwhile, someone else's eyes burned with jealousy. It was Jimin watching them from upward. He could not let his anger show without a valid reason, but it was clear he was seething. Are you ready, Vian? She felt worry evident on her face just as the moment sharpened. A voice interrupted from behind. It's late. Everyone should go to sleep. We have to leave early tomorrow. He spoke in a stern tone that left no room for argument. Within a minute, everyone back to their tent. Finally, in her tent, scrolling through her phone when suddenly Jimin entered. She looked at him with confused eyes. Why is he here at night? What if someone sees us together? These were roaming inside her mind. Jimin closed the flap of the tent behind him, and his expression was hard, but his eyes were calm. What happened? Why are you here? She asked, sitting up, but before she could process it, Jimin her back and both her hands, her head with just one hand. What are you doing? She exclaimed in shock, her voice slightly raised. Shh, little girl, you were about to enjoy Jack's kiss, were not you? His voice carried a possessive edge. No, I had no intention of kissing him. It was just a dare. Then why did not you stop him? Have you forgotten that you are a married woman? Have you forgotten that you are mine? He said as he snuggled into her neck, his warm breath. No, I know I'm married. I was about to say no to the kiss, but wait a minute, you don't even accept me as your wife, so why do you care who I kiss, huh? She glared at him angrily, her voice rising as she confronted him. She was suspicious of his behavior, especially since he refused to accept her. As by hearing her response, Jimin's eye darkened, but there was no fear in Vine's face. Jimin brought his face closer to her. Their noses almost touching. Whether I admit or not, you are my wife, you are my woman. Understand that? These lips fluttering in her stomach, his eyes closed, wanting to feel her presence. These lips are mine to cherish, mine to dream. Did you hear me? He cupped her face, his soft eyes meeting her voice. In that moment, they both seemed lost in each other. He was so close. Their lips pressed against each other. His possessiveness was clear in his voice and action. Vine felt her mind go blank as if she were under his control. Without hesitating, she nodded her head. A satisfied smile spread across Jimin's face as he stood up. Good night, little girl. Good night, she starts as he walked out of the tent. As soon as he woke up, she placed the hand on her chest, trying to calm her racing heartbeat. Calm down, Vine. He does not even accept me as his wife, and now he doesn't want me to touch it by anyone else. Is he jealous? No, he does not love me. He's just asserting his right over me. Let's just sleep. Next day, everyone was exploring the jungle in group, enjoying the natural beauty. My group and I were admiring a stunning waterfall that was mesmerizing, and I could not take my eyes off it. While I was lost in beauty, my groups moved ahead without me. By the time I realized I was alone, there was no one around. I decided to move forward to catch up with them, but no matter how far I walked, I could not see anyone. By evening, all the groups gathered back at the campsite where their tents were set up. The professor began to counseling the student to ensure everyone had returned. James, Vine was in your group, right? Where is she? Everyone started looking around. But Vine was nowhere to be found. That's when Jimin returned from a call he had stepped away to take. What happened, Mr. Lee? Mr. Park, one student came. Vine is missing. What? He was shocked and looked around at the student was kissing Vine's absence, a deep fear arose with him. How could she just disappear? Where are her group mates? Call her. Said there is no network inside the jungle, so her phone is not reachable. Shit, he cursed under his breath, tension written all over his face. Listen, form groups and such every direction in the jungle. We will meet back here by 9 p.m. Got it? Everyone split up, heading in different direction. Will Jimin search for Vine alone? As night fell, his anxiety and fear only grew. Vine, where are you? His breathing was heavy, sweat covered his face, and unknowingly his eyes became glossy with tears. His heart was pounding as he searched desperately for the person he claimed to hate. Vine, please come back to me. Where are you? I was sitting under a tree crying. I'm lost in this jungle. No one going to come save me. Some wild animal is going to eat me. I don't want to die this soon. She's so terrified, but a small part of her hope that someone know he would come to find her. Will Jimmy she come looking for me? But why would he care? He doesn't even think about me. She started crying even harder, but then she heard a voice. Vine hearing him. She turned around, tears of relief streaming down her face. Jimmy turned toward her with a wide separate smile. Vine stood up and walked toward him. Are you okay? He asked as he pulled her into his arm, hugging her tightly. A tear escaped his eyes as he held her, as though his soul had returned to him. Vine buried her face in his chest, sobbing uncontrollably. Where were you? I was scared. I thought I was going to die. She complained, crying harder. Her tears would not stop, and Jim held her tighter as if trying to bury her into his embrace. I'm sorry, please don't cry anymore. His voice was filled with sadness as he caressed her hair, trying to calm her down. I thought you would not come, she said, looking up at him with her red puffy eyes. Her condition caused an ache in Jimin's heart. He cupped her face gently. Why would not I come to find my little girl? Ha, now stop crying. I have got you. He wiped her tears gently. Vine hugged him again, snuggling into his chest, seeking comfort. Easy, relax. You are safe now, he whispered softly, stroking her hair. His heart, which had been restless a moment ago, suddenly calm. He now understood something he could not before. Being away from Vine was unbearable for him. The two returned to the campsite where the other students were waiting. The rest of the trip went smoothly, and after 4 days, everyone returned home. Over time, Jimin Wine bonds grew stronger. Jimin, who once scolded her often, now found himself controlling his anger in her presence. Despite his usual temper, Wine no longer felt annoyed toward him because deep down she had never truly hated him. Wine was walking back and forth in the living area, visually tense as usual. Instead of sleeping at 11 p.m., she was waiting for Jimin, which was unusual. Where is he? She spoke anxiously, but just then the mansion's door opened and she saw Jimin being escorted by the guards, his arm draped over their shoulders. His body was locked in with deep cuts on his shoulder, bicep, and chest. Vine's eyes widened in shock and she rushed to him immediately. Jimin, what happened to you? Describe how did this happen? She asked in worried tone. Jimin, however, did not respond, seemingly too weak to speak. Ma'am, we need to take him to the room. Vine, overwhelmed by fear and concern, nodded quickly. Stepping aside, the guard helped Jimin to bed. Vine hurriedly adjusted pillow behind to make him comfortable. The doctor is on his way, boss. You can leave, he said in his low voice, and the guard bowed before exiting. Now tell me what happened. Was it an accident? How did you get hurt this badly? Her voice quivered as she looked at his wound, but her barrage of question made Jimmy's thoughts spiral. Does she really not know that I am Martha Lita? This is normal for me, but why is she so worried? Answered me. Just then the doctor entered the room and both of them turned to look at him. With Jimin note, the doctor began treating his injuries. Vine, unable to bear the sight of Jimin's pain, closed her eyes but occasionally peeked to check on him, as if she was feeling the pain herself. Jimin could not help but notice her action. Doctor, please be gentle. He must be in pain. At her word, Jimin chuckled lightly. Little girl, look at my face. I'm not in pain, but the cuts are so deep. You must feel pain, right? Her eyes became glossy with unshed tears, and Jimin noticed he could not stop thinking about how kind and pure she is. Someone he had hurt so much, yet here she was worrying about him more than anyone ever had. Vine, I'm really not in pain. I'm used to enduring pain by now. His voice low, his words heavy with meaning. Though Vine could not understand the depth of his sorrow, she gazed at him with concern. Should I bring you some dinner? Jimmy nodded and Vine left. Meanwhile, the doctor removed a bullet from his shoulder. Hurry up, she must not see the bullet. The doctor worked quickly to finish the treatment and left soon after. A moment later, Jimin was eating dinner while Vine kept stealing glances at his wound. Stop rolling over my body, he teased playfully, still shirtless after the treatment. How can you take this wound so lightly? You have been hurt so badly. Do your parents even know about this? Should I inform them? She grabbed her phone, but Jimin immediately held her wrist. They know he placed a plate on the nightstand, but they have not come to see you, she asked innocently, and a sad smile formed on Jimin's lips. How could he tell this pure soul that his parents were the reason behind these wounds, that their action had forced him into this dangerous profession? He had grown used to it, even thrived in it, becoming worthy of his position as a mafia king. They would not come, that's all. He tried to lie down but winced in pain. Wine immediately rushed to help him. Careful, you are hurt, yet you are so careless. She startled him, but Jimin suddenly grabbed her wrist and pulled her onto his chest. Why do you care so much about me, huh? I need a reason to care, but I don't deserve your care. I have hurt you enough. He tugged a strand of her hair. Yes, you have hurt me, but does not mean I hate you. You never abused me, never hit me. Above all, I have humanity. You are kind and you have humanity, no doubt, but I don't deserve your kindness. Why not? Because I can't give you anything in return. I can't make anyone happy or care for anyone properly. That's why everyone leaves me. My love is never enough for anyone. His voice broke, tear welling in his eyes. Vine immediately realized he was talking about Yeri. I'm sorry, but from what I saw, sister seemed really happy with you. I never felt like you held back your love for her. No, I think it was my love that was lacking. Tears streamed down his face, and Vine, deeply affected, cupped his face to wipe them away. Why was I not enough? Why did she leave me? Vine feels sympathy. His sobs are real. His pain pouring out. Please don't cry. You are crying over someone who left you, Jimin. Why are you saying everyone leaves you? Only Yeri left. Don't ignore the people who are still by your side. Your brother, your parents. They are not my parents, he shouted, his sudden outburst making Wine flinch, but her hands still cupped his face. His eyes reflect both pain and anger. They are not my parents. They abandoned me. They have never cared whether I was alive or dead. To them, only their precious son Taeyong matters. His blazing eyes softened as his tears spilled uncontrollably. Wine, though confused, understood that he was breaking inside. Without hesitation, she pulled into her embrace. Jimin clung to her, burying his face in her chest as he cried. Shh, calm down, Jimin. She, please don't cry. Why is there so much anger in your heart for your family? She softly rubbed his back, trying to soothe him. No one loves me, no one cares about me, mom and dad only love Taeyong. He sobbed louder, his hiccup break. Her heart. Vine realized he was finally opening up, something no one had cared enough to let him do. She wanted to be there for him, to help him lighten the burden in his heart. That's not true, Jimichi. Relaxed, calm down. One hand caressed his cheek, while other continued to rub his back. Jimin seeking comfort and warmth snuggled into her neck. It's true. No one loves me. Everyone leaves me. First, my mom and Ty's mom, and now your mom and Ty's mom are different. My mom died when I was 4. After that, Dad married Taeyong's mom, and after Taeyong was born, they stopped giving me attention. It was like all their love for me vanished. They don't care about me anymore. His voice cracked as he continued goes to speak about his late mom and the neglect he faced from his dad and stepmom. While listened intently, her heart aching for the boy who had been ignored by the very people who were supposed to love and protect him. She ran her finger through his hair, gently, tear welling up in her own eyes. She see how the lack of love and care had turned the one innocent boy into the aggressive man before her, a man who still longed for love and attention. Everyone leave me. You will not leave me too, will you? You won't abandon me, right? He looked up at her with tear-streaked eyes, his voice soft yet desperate. No, I will never leave you. Her voice was steady, full of assurance. She leaned down and placed a gentle kiss on his forehead. Jim closed his eye, feeling the warmth of her lips against his skin, a promise that felt more genuine than anything he had experienced before. A few moments later, he drifted off to sleep in her embrace, and she too fell asleep. Their shared pain and comfort binding them together in a way neither had expected. The next day, at Vine's insistence, Jimin skips college. However, Vine goes to college, attends her classes, and returns home. After dinner that night, Vine is studying while Jimin is working on his laptop. Once Jimin finishes his work, he shuts his laptop and looks over at Vine, who is staring at her notebook with a sad pout frowning. He approaches her. Little girl, what's wrong? Why do you look so sad? Vine looks at him with a pout. Jimin, I can't solve this question. Oh, that's it. Come on, let me help you solve it. He starts explaining it to her, and after some time, the two end up falling asleep on the bed. In the middle of night, Jimin feels a weight on his chest and opens his eyes to see Vine's hand resting on his. He carefully moves her hand away, but she again places it around his waist instead. Signing, Jimin looks at her only to realize her face is very close to his. Seeing her so near, Jimin's breath hits as he holds her shoulder to move her away slightly. When she even closer, seeking warmth, their lips are now just centimeters apart. Jimin freezes in that moment, his gaze locked on her long lashes, rosy cheeks, and pink lips. He is about to when he suddenly stops, his eyes widen in shock, and he quickly sit up, alarmed by what he has done. What have I done? How could I do this? I don't love her. I am sorry, Vine. What have I done? In a moment of lust, he starts blaming himself, guilt heavy in his heart, and looks at Vine with great regret filled eyes before walking out to balcony. Have I really forgotten her? Did I have feeling for Vine? I can't understand anything. Jimin walks out of the bathroom wearing only a towel and notices Vine standing in front of the mirror, looking confused. He approaches her and places a hand on her shoulder. Vine turns to look at him and immediately reacts. Why aren't you wearing anything? She exclaims, but Jimin looks at her calmly. I just came out of the shower. Leave that. Tell me what's wrong. You look so confused in front of the mirror. Look at my lips. Why are they swollen? They look so ugly. She said with a sad pout. Jimin cups her face gently with his rough hand and rubs her lips softly with his thumb. Maybe some big mosquito bite your lips and they are not ugly. You are very beautiful princess, he says in a soft voice. Vine blushes hearing Jimin compliment her for the first time and being called a new name, princess. She blinks her eyes in surprise. You look so cute when you blink that up. Princess, he teased, squeezing her cheeks. A new nickname. Why? She gave him suspicious look. I think it's better, little girl, don't you agree? Vine giggled and nods in Finally, I can go to gym. I'm coming, my love. I need to run fast now, or that will imprison me again.